Ekosiisen On Asempa FM 94.7. Ekosiisen On Asempa FM 94.7. Ekosiisen On Asempa FM 94.7.
Asempa FM Ekosiisen Asonyina etie sa platform media se unya now betna subia na Fabibroni bese it's a privilege and an honor. Na yamu be so part of the inception of this particular platform. Shasi ache and so shasi, and we thank you for maintaining that credibility when it comes to delivery of more program.
It's always a pleasure coming to Asempa where the truth is spoken.
Well, I know that Asempa has gained a lot of experience. Asempa is one of the, not the forerunners, but in terms of coverage and listenership, you stand tall. The new FM stations that are coming into the arena are not calling on you to exit, them to survive. Is that what is happening? No. They are learning from you. They are learning under your feet. They are also trying as much as possible to find space. And, there's enough in the world for everybody. There's enough in the world for everybody. And so I think that those who are coming up, we definitely will encourage the injection of new blood. But you cannot also totally do away with the experience.
The CIMG Radio Program of the Year, Ekosiisen. Are you ready? You are listening to the CIMG Radio Program of the Year, Ekosiisen on Asempa 94.7 FM.
Presenting the award for the political program of the year, radio, going to Ekosiisen of Asempa FM. Ekosiisen Asempa FM.
Political program of the year, radio, Ekosiisen. How did it end? And the host of the show, OB, steps up to pick the award.
Congratulations, Ekosiisen.
I have to say something about Asempa and Ekosiisen. So we're all worried about what's going to happen to Ekosiisen. Look at what OB has done with it. I listen to Ekosiisen all the time. I mean, I have to admit, sometimes I listen and I get some ideas for the program because they come before us. So, yeah. So like tonight, we're going to use some of their content. So I have to have that. Obi, I've never told you this before, but I think you've done a fantastic job.
Samuel Atachi, Honorable Minister in charge of Works and Housing, Member of Parliament for Ebuakwa South.
Yeah, that's time I have that. If I have any aje. Na any man that down never to accommodate so. Minimum set Ghana that wakuma so. Sounds when that makuma so. Yeah. And na Oman in Peja.
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM 94.7.
The winner, radio program of the year 2018, I beg your pardon. Asempa FM's Ekosiisen. And there they come, ladies and gentlemen.
With a great respect, Obi, Asempa Moyebi. And you continue to do better. Especially Obi questions I would tell beside you. Hey, I think I'm yet to see Obi our contest too.
Honorable, Akwaba na Apomwe.
In your jugba, Bonto yote.
In your jugba.
In your
jugba.
Moyepa.
Hot here me wa denche.
Hot here me ona. Ibai. Ngoke You Obi made that say. Answer na mekasa na I think say. What's me boy Abasopa? I've admired you from afar during the days in Takrady when we're in opposition. And I think consistently you have proved to be a good substitute for our late brother. And let me say that you've been phenomenal. I mean, so brilliant. And your presentation, the construction, I mean, the thoughts, the question lines, and sense that we see a dear Jumano, Menyaso.
Ekosiisen on Asempa
FM. But Koso and serve the people of this country with all humility and a good heart. And I believe that the sky will all be the limit for you.
Medase. Chairman, my master, you better to Safri.
Papa, this is the first time I'm baha. Na me sure say ya who conduct you.
Ekosiisen On Asempa
FM. I admire you.
Ekosiisen On Asempa FM 94.7. Ekosiisen On Asempa FM 94.7. Ekosiisen On Asempa FM 94.7. Asempa FM.
A brand new week. Another Monday afternoon is here with us. Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. Some 6 minutes after 2. Asempa FM on Monday, the 20th day of September 2021. We have yet another interesting show coming up. Buckle up and let's do this together from now till 6:30 p.m. Meaning Osei Bonsu from Yobi. Ma yenna etiefo nyinara ase. Ensema makwaba from Kokra. We are reaching you live from our national studios at 355 Fanofa Street in Kokomilemle, Accra. But as you are aware, the show is live on a number of affiliate radio stations from Tamale right down to Bibiani in the Western North region, and station Ahodo and Efa Jumedieno live. We are proud, we are privileged to have all of them on board. Thank you for joining us. Kan FM is in Salaga, and of course there are some other radio stations as well. Enti moye familiar with Ekosiisen, you would know say Okosalaga 85.7 Kan FM Efa Yinjumediene live or Sunyane nso was Storm FM 101.9. Oko Japekrom wo German South District. And the Shore FM 101.5. Oko Wenchi wo Bono region. Ewiase FM 95.7 and a Royal FM 104.7. Oko Obuasen so in the Ashanti region, PZ Radio 93.1, Akomadan still in the Ashanti region, right? So Akomadan was Ashanti region. Akomadan still in the Ashanti region. Honso Cruise FM wo 96.9. Uchem Eko Ofinso again in the Ashanti region. Time FM 105.3. Oko Asante Achem Agogo. And no, it was Ashanti region as well, and also Adansia FM 98.9 and Maker Asante Achem Agogo. Let me remind you, sir, that station would be 1 year this week. In the whole of this week, no, an affiliate radio station that was Asante Achem Agogo, Metre Adansia FM, Eddie 1 year, and they've lined up some very interesting activities to mark the first anniversary of the station. As part of the activities, no, on Friday, if you're the day enemy, you're the Ekosiisen be free Asante Achem Agogo Abremo live. And it's something you would have to look up to. Solid. I mean, we'll be in Asante Achem Agogo this Friday. Now, the Ekosiisen free Abremo live as part of the first anniversary celebrations of Adansia FM 98.9. 100.9. Oko Jokwanso in the Central Regional, yewo Bankam Radio 95.1. Koforidia, yewo Afima Radio 103.3. Secondly, Takrade Aseda FM 105.9. BBN 99.7 Ochiame FM, Ejura Neje FM 90.3, and Ejura Hwano Today's Radio 101.7 FM. In the stations are Hodwa FI and Jumedi live, and on the way muye, apart from the over 100 radio stations abroad in the UK, in the US, in Germany, in Holland, in Denmark, in South Africa, in China, stations are Hodwa Omonso Efa Yenjumedi. Inti mayenda munyinara ase na yensa mama kwaba. And we have a really packed show for you. Last Friday, in fact on Thursday, the whole of last week, you started dropping a hint of the choice of MMDCEs in some of the districts are information, the choice of the president. In fact, we read for you except of the committee's recommendations to the president. And for district nim obia presidency I settle on including the Elembele district. Mobeka me catch say in the Elembele district, we know say committee in a report na the incumbent DC din enim mechre Kwesi Bonsu be bring friend 34k. But I told you authoritatively, say we have information, say despite the facts in the DNI committee report, and Omanpenyi Edi Ejumano Amano, and that confirmation about last Sunday time a minister Nankasa Edi list about out. In the end, we would want to delve a bit more into the choice of MMDCEs by His Excellency the President. We know for now, say. Emma Bako Eduasan Watri, 38 women out of the 260 nominees, Emu Eduasan Watri and Emma. 132 nominees are new nominees completely. And 128 have been retained. In a breakdown, 38 women out of the 260. And out of the 260, Emu 132 are new nominees completely. And emu 128 MMDC is almost retaining one position. And that is the summary of the nominations are Ekoso Enra, the local government decentralization and rural development minister Edeba Ebabetuja. At 3 p.m. Pepe, the Honorable Dan Boche, MP for Okre and minister in charge of that sector, will join us in studio. Na yeneno edim komo into a question bia and who say reactions are started here after the list was published. Reactions from Cherepone right down to Jomoro. Reactions if hunyina eba inti o question bia edibusa Honorable Dan Bochea ubetimi edi abrain. Either on Facebook, Oko Facebook, I just search for Asempa 94.7 FM and post your comments on our page. And now say, YouTube, so I'll be sharing Asempa 94.7 FM on YouTube and post your comments there as well. On Twitter, you handle it at Asempa947 _FM. Marisa Okwa Amasaman and so Amasaman is boiling. Anyways, but I'll take you through the list one more time. Who is going where? Minister Badi and Eddie Hongkong. And we'll be picking reactions from some of the nominees. First, the Honorable Kwesi Bonsu, or a DCE nominee for the Elembele district. My name is municipal there. By Elembele district. Your WhatsApp line is 0548 955 947 058 955 947. Just keep those messages coming through. Now, I'll start off with the Western region. So, Oko Western region, Ahanta West Municipal, John Ajare, one prediction and also had it out. Unfortunately, we got it right. Memphis Central District, Patrick Hodgson, Ampontain, Memphis Central, Manson Amenfi, Honorable Kwachi Akaya MP, Honorable Kwachi Aka. Oko Amenfi East, Wasekropong, also Frederick Cranche. I just say Wasekropong incumbent DC, Oh, very Dome, mami no credit in the same. Oh, mami. Appear, yes. And then Helena appear, yes. Honorable Helena appear. Anye amano. Oh, you're down for young man, Frederick Kuma. Frederick Kuma is not a short list now, but I think he's issued a very, very magnanimous concession statement. The level of maturity he's shown is quite commendable. That from Amenfi East Municipal in the Frederick Crunchy and the nominee Oko Amenfi West. Amenfi West here Asankregwa and also Lord Nana Tando and the nominee. Efia Kwesiminti Municipal and also a Kojo Aqua, only incumbent, he's retained his position. Elembele District, a Kwesi Bonsu, and he's in the studio with us now. Jomoro Municipal, Louisa Iris Ade, Onoye Oba. Impohot District, Ignatius Asa Mensa, Impohot District. For Nzema East Municipal, that's one municipal, we got our prediction wrong. At the time, we had the information said the incumbent has been retained. Honorable Openyen, so Opechen, has been retained. Unfortunately, Nyoma Etene into called Dorcas Elizabeth Amoa or Dorcas Elizabeth Amoa and Onyaye. Pristia Huni Valley Municipal and so Dr. Isaac Dasmani. Sekendi Takradi Metropolitan, Abdul Mumin Issa. Shaman District, Ebenezer Dazi. In the Honsu incumbent, the former constituency chairman, Honorable Amoa. Oh, Honorable Amoa, Nyabiu. Takwan Swaye Municipal, Benjamin Kessie. Benjamin Kessie was an injury time DCE. Timer DC and Ankaza Lusu Nejumano. Benjamin Kessie then as presiding member and Oba Ebabeye MCE Ewo. Into no wonder say or Tuan Ejuma. So and finally on that list, Wasa East District, Emmanuel Boache. And remember, say Wasa East District, the DC ano Mr. Wilson Arthur and Onono opte out or you're say Onkobio and Emmanuel Boache and Omanpenye Afano as the next DCE for Wasa East District. Indeed, that's for the Western region. Honorable Kwesi Bonsu Atenase, Ewo studio. Honorable, Akwaba Yetrinkwa. Bibi aboko there. No, but in your case, because Metina Haka said, me share committee report, and that would in short list name. Did it ever cross your mind, say, despite the fact that within him, no, the president can still settle on you?
I mean, I will be the charity for now. Minda Omanpeniasi. His Excellency Nana Danko Kufuado. And now share a lemblem. Money that is a Juma Maye in the last 4 years. No, a son nti Omama Konya Semesamet was. Yes. Na young no take decisions. As in say starting process, no starting vetting, no original level. Yes. Regional chairman, na regional minister, and then other reps from the presidency. If you on a ban national so na honorable minister, honorable Dambuche, and then vetting committee chaired by a very tough member of our party. Until we went through the process. Now, honorable minister, honorable Danko Kubochi, can identity press briefing now. Yes. Say, as far as he is concerned, there's only one list. And then or did a buy. Until say let's be leaky and I'm in the I cannot speak to that. Central for some of the sources.
The only man is all man body.
Yes.
Wow. But again, because let's also face it, from baby Ayensuyanya list ni free, you know, we confirmed say it was the committee's report. Because the wakano mu go through stages from region to national. Moye vet. Moanye be your district. Moye region. Good. And I'm about national. And that committee in Ejuman, they had to submit a report to the president. Now Udin of course the CEMA Udin free modi will not be able to tell. But at least the committee recommended some other person. Do you think, sir, maybe when to me and discharge will creditably vet and nana?
It's a difficult question. Because vetting report the leak here. Committee officially say your report.
Okay.
It's a leaked document.
Yeah.
Until you can't speak much to it.
True that.
But Naminim say Omampeni Ankasa Elembleno Nenidi Elembrechi. Since 2012, July 23rd, 2012, Omampeni Ba ni listening to Ewolemble. Ho ena nani study say di Elembrechi.
Okay.
That time a parliamentary candidate. Na young man. Now my slogan is 34K.
34K.
Yeah, no, maybe we are 34K. When you say what is the meaning of 34K?
Oh, okay.
Na me catch so I am a target of vote. I'm pese minya. I'm pese minya 34,000 vote. Ti na ya kwan no I 34K because 34K is 34,000.
Yes.
Nti no be say in the previous election what was the total voter MPP nyae. So that time no on number for the blade and now MP. It was an alliance marriage of communion between MPP and NDC and CPP. So the vote was both CPP and MPP vote. But 12,800. The one on my Penica James and no statistically and possible say 34,000 votes. And I'm being very ambitious.
Yes.
So I think that caught his attention.
Oh, okay.
And since then, 2016, I went through the same process. Also contested against Honorable Manamako Fubua for the second time, where we almost won.
Yeah.
So it's a constituency that, and since I became a DC, the president himself has visited Elemble over 5 times, as recent as 3rd September. The constituency be on and as a president, he has access to a lot of information, both from the government machinery, from the national security, from if there's something that he knows that the committee might not know. So for him to repose that confidence in me, I only thank him and grateful. I would say Elamble is very grateful. And I was at the press center for a briefing.
Okay.
Now feedback I'm here and say Krundi na Beja. So I had to even restrain them, say they shouldn't be jubilating too much because it's just Sanke Bonsu and a news.
Yeah.
But Juma Mampeni Diamame since 2017. Amaya and also mean to us.
Yeah.
It is because a committee be within just no, we don't place much emphasis on that.
It's a constituency I also know very well. Of course, growing up in a Lubono, now a constituency and I'm a Thai a Bahopa. Meaning say major towns no or Nkofo, which is the capital for the district, or Enyenase, or Ekwe, or Ziama. I think that should be it.
Yeah. These are the major towns. Yeah,
Kekam so a major and Atuabo, right?
Yeah, Atuabo. Yeah.
Atuabo so eka. Enti say Obiba district ni musisia. O footprint near then. And then everybody panaka say, this DC is doing well.
I'm not doing DC for 4 years. The major footprint is road construction.
Okay.
Me take over. No, I'm saying, Bobeka, studio have 2019. There was some demonstration about the famous in Crawford Road.
I remember.
My mom was sure and said, a quantity that my contractor Busua. Oh yeah.
Yes.
At that time, no, as I say, residents no, Matiabre, Ntina Munjini, Minoka say, is there much in Crawford Road? It's been asphalted. I cut 2 major bridges are Ombeye. Now, just say, and that is a very significant route because I quite call Kwame Nkrumah. If you want to go to because all the way to Inase, all the food basket in our district, no, now within 4 years, Obi, what we've done is that 270 kilometers of road, all of which awarded under MPP administration. The first one was August 22nd, 2019. Subsequently, between that and then 2020, August 18th, the government has awarded and initiated over 270 kilometers of roads. Town roads, trunk roads, Kuku roads, GMPC. It's unprecedented. Currently, there is no major trunk road at Wellembla. It's not under construction.
And yeah, under construction. Some will say it's a legacy from the NDC administration because Omone started the oil enclave route, and your district was privileged to benefit immensely from SAR initiative. And it's also from Ekwe through Atuabo, that enclave new routes were done. And it's something you inherited. And then I'll be catching any panel.
It's not entirely so. Government is a continuum. Now, you buy no, and this for our no. No, now there's a lot that now has to be done still, especially the northern part of our district.
Yeah.
For Elemblenov, not.
Okay.
Now I don't know, accessible. Now can't to me. Motocrow, who the motocrow is virtually impossible until we had to work very hard. And then Enono was not in the oil enclave. It's a cocoa roads until now cocoa board for. But we managed to lobby GMPC. Say Omunja cocoa roads and yet other areas now because we are in the oil zone.
Yeah.
So GMPC is doing almost 100 kilometers of roads. I mean, it was initiated by our administration.
Okay.
Until when it comes to roads, I'll say I don't think there's any district in this country what benefit from NPP administration.
Road infrastructure.
Yes, from NPP administration. Yes, than the district. And these are things that at a go, August 18, 2020, President Ekati road for 220 kilometers
of roads.
Meaning, all of it are under construction. Besides that, in terms of academic infrastructure, near Assembly initiative, 5 unique classroom blocks are well furnished with furniture, modern furniture. 9 of them has been completed and then in use. Zanda 4, which is also under construction at various levels of completion.
How would you react to those who tell you, say, all the projects you've mentioned are not directly district specific project, where central government project, and say a person who as DC or real footprint what you've done into common funder other initiatives to bring about project into your district? I know you're there.
DC, I represent the central government in Elembele.
Okay.
And if I manage to bring, that should even be more significant because this is needed to be a pulling national resources, a ban district. And can meet me, I can say, now me the district resources. Now, I know in terms of even internally generated funds, IGF projects, as the last time, WRCC, Western Regional Coordinating Council, be Reti district no. Now there's no district ordinary IGF. I have more projects as in Elembele.
Oh really?
Yes, and these are for public records. Any central government project schools are making out of 13 schools, only 2 per NIA get fund project. There's a basic schools. You see for JHS, 5 unique classroom block. You see we are now ICT center room and staff common room furnished with computers and I feel so with furniture, modern furniture, mono desk. Obi they feel good, and these are from our locally generated funds, other MDF or our property rate at AAG. There's a fish market. You see, fishmongers. Recently, we moved them into it. They realized that at the time I see market, the fishmongers were normally about 200. As at the time they moved in, it's about 400. And because of the COVID and then the space, so we had to ask them to stay back for us to expand the space so that it can accommodate all the Nipa 409 ton. There are 2 other markets that one at Edubrim fully funded the internally generated funds and then the whole idea is that your farmers, your fisher folks, our community aside oil and gas now now one major activity is trading. If I do call Inasia has 2 major market days, Fridays and Tuesdays. Uba Eziema, almost a street has been converted into a Sunday market. Very vibrant. Almost any market for through Coastal Development Authority. That's another central government agency. And Metra could afford Abaso major project. Of course, my good friend Jerry Ahmed Shahid is doing a lot in my district. And see, as a DC, you don't only sit down and say restricting my activity to common fund. That one, everybody can do that.
Everybody can do that. I get that bit. And fortunately for your district, I know some of the companies are located there. Say Adamus, and the Adamus pays some good royalty.
Yes.
Ghana Gas the same.
Rate, yes.
Omutu has some very good property. And in terms of my IGF,
yes,
to do a lot more. So Michelle, apart from these and being youthful yourself, that connection between you and the youth, is there. And in terms of youth empowerment, you are here to engage the youth to create jobs for them.
Thank you. No. And I say I'm a penny ebano. Yeah. This is not the maiden edition of Asempa Business Expo.
Okay.
Business Expo no. So now you say all the major blue chip companies in the district. And so do na youth no mo nyejuma ni bi enye because they're technical areas. Now bas answer there's an influx of both domestic and foreign expatriates. The cost of living so in real terms no. Our people have been impoverished because of the oil discovery and then the production. So what we have decided to do as an assembly, you say all the major companies no OBI no corporate social responsibility on their own. No want to have one platform that all of them will be brought together so that there are various investment opportunities no you can harness it and then use that to create sustainable jobs, entrepreneurial jobs, as auxiliary jobs in the sector. And most of them know if you are wanting we want to make sure that we have empowered companies, small and medium scale companies, local companies to be able to take advantage. So we started it this year. Fortunately, the president himself graced the occasion. Next year, we are going to put the 3 in Zema district. We have 3 districts.
In Zema East, Elembele, and Ajomoro.
Yes, in the district, that is 2 municipalities. And we want to expand it, in Zema Business Expo.
Okay.
Where we will link the companies there to the youth to see how we can leverage on their presence to do other businesses to make create sustainable jobs.
And that's something you plan to do. And where the Amuamu year as a district, no? What has been the impact? Where the Amuamu year?
In the past 4 years, we've trained people in various scale areas, especially Omwa Sebio any opportunity and call further education through Asada Foundation and GMPC. MVTI, and then we give them startup kits so that because mostly it's a rural community there's a lot of youth unemployment. There's a lot of amount for and to me progress to me who will be surprised. There's a huge number of graduates in the district. Yes. A lot of them because of once the oil was discovered, the aspiration has gone high. We've gone to acquire degrees, first degrees, second. Even was 2 master degrees. And so over the period, the training has brought out a lot of graduates. Now, how do you absorb that? NAPCO had absorbed some in the past. We had about 10 and 50 NAPCO trainees in the district since 2017. But we want to see how, not just but the resources in our district. How do we take advantage? How do you leverage on the big companies so that we can create entrepreneurs? People, poultry farmers. Look, ENI, for instance, LIP, livelihood restoration program. Some of them have been trained to poultry, and when they came to display their produce at the fair, you could see that there's a lot of potential in that area. Once proper attention is directed to it and money is invested in it, I believe in investing in people. Because that is how people develop. That's how people grow. That's how we eradicate poverty. Now, sometimes it's also the companies, big companies, district. It has its own problems.
Of course.
The cost of living in my district, Obi.
Very,
very.
It's true.
A single room,
self-contained
house, it's 500 Ghana a month.
You don't mean it?
I mean it.
Eziama
kekam. Obi awa bakachro.
And I say Eziama so adan yomusisi wo hono so nye adan ketwa. They are very nice houses.
Because of the influx of both domestic and foreign expatriates.
Is there Ghana gas workers?
Yes. In terms of accommodation, food prices. Eziama, wayside, Banku Tilapia, 35 cities, 40 cities.
Wow.
Uko restaurant, and 60 cities. So it's the local economy, because, but most of our residents, are not participating in that industry, in the extractive industry. So, whilst his income level is not going high, the cost of living is, 3-bedroom house is about 1,500, 2,000 Ghana a month. In Eziama.
1,500
to 2,000.
Wow. Wow, that's of course because of Adamos in
yes, Adamos, Ghana Gazi, and these are
for those companies, say head count of the staff the number of people from your district a year Juma Wohono, numbers not the same.
Very low. Very low. I'm saying.
But you say you have a lot of degrees.
Yeah,
degree holders.
Yeah, they're degree holders. Now, it's an argument that I've made on several occasions. Sometimes the response is that, it's a national solution. It's not a, but because of the impact of it on the local economy. So when our people are not participating, sometimes it creates a potential of creating problems.
The challenge then is maybe this should be an area you focus a bit more on in your next term. Say, skill set being at these companies in here. How do we make sure that we channel the youth into those career?
But that's the main idea behind the business expo, no?
Okay.
So that we engage them. In fact, even their human resource requirements, we want to engage them to know which areas are areas that
so we train our people to
exactly
to fit those
and also
jobs.
Try to match the available
of course
to the it's a demand and supply. Of course, a business they want to have their KPIs to meet. You cannot necessarily say by force no more, but once they are there, our people need to participate. So we have to position ourselves to make sure that the numbers increase.
It's true. It's true. Ekosiisen is high Asempa 94.7 FM. In studio here, the Honorable Bonsu, one of the MMDCs who was retained, in the Leicester ENRA, the Minister in charge of local government, decentralization and rural development, published here. And we just want to get an idea of impact away personally in that district. I engender that level of confidence in the president, President Assign, and nominating a BO. There are loads and loads of messages coming through as a man for interest to Homo Power.
Okay, somewhere in June.
Yes.
The divisional chiefs and queen mothers, 26 of them. We have about 30 something divisional chiefs and queen mothers. 26 came together to call on the president to retain me. Now, in Cedar, in the name of the traditional council, on their own, now, say they have their forum, we say, Bonsu, we see market, Mikrom, we see Bonsu, we see school die, we see Bonsu, road, because we worked together in the last 4 years. You're not management. So, money bomb was nice. Almost every major community, Misano Juma. So I'm saying in that case, no one to transit. And
in Sano Juma will be there schools,
market, roads, toilet facility, chip compound. It's spread all over the place. All the 6 divisional chiefs and Queen will be a community. They had witnessed a project that I had initiated and completed.
And some of these projects came through special development initiatives, coastal development.
Yes, and others too from our own resources. Yes, you will say water systems. You will say in the rural areas. Small water, small community water service.
Yes,
a major problem is electricity because you use light. Until light been about the amount the cost of production goes. So we decided to invest in solar. As I speak to about 9 of them, 3 has been completed. One at and Cobra. Campaign and then Ibi Bukazo. So we want to see how that one, the economics of it, because I don't know there's no light bill, but the initial cost is a little higher than the normal one. See, that is what we are doing for the communities.
In terms of job creation, I forgot this. The existing companies now, blue chip companies, more as an assembly, more instead any control on how they recruit and all of that. You can only plead and see or more expectation so the resources are more, but there is an opportunity in 1D1F, and there's a central government initiative. How have you as a district positioned yourself to take advantage? 1D1F, for example.
Yeah, the 1D1F policy of government is always private sector driven.
Yes.
Until just last year before the general election, we had a company writing to us that they have had approval from the 1D1F secretariat to go into agro-processing. So we are currently working with them.
And agro-processing specifically what?
They are yet to come to us with their
Okay.
Exactly what you have to do their feasibility studies and all that. So, but prior to that, the assembly, together with Christian Aid and Oxon, a private sector organization, also went into Christian Aid and into a process where people living with disability were trained, and some of them currently they are doing some very interesting products. There's a cassava process and such. That is private sector led. So in this second term, the focus in the first term we laid a very good foundation, especially roads, because for every community to open up infrastructure. And no private sector can provide it. Assembly cannot provide it. So now that our foundation has been laid, we're going to build on that, and then even work more with the companies to know that it is not just their corporate social responsibility. School dining, but their impact on the local economy. So we should make a conscious effort to involve the local people in the operations. In various, it doesn't only have to be a blue collar employment. It could be contract, it could be their subcontractors, it could be their caterers, anything that will boost the local economy. We believe more because the white collar, most of them are saturated. Most of the companies, most of the vacancies but every day number of CVs are about my office because I believe especially with Ghana Gas. With the Ghana Gas.
Wow. Ekosiisen high Asempa FM. Before we now going into the second term, you need to go and face your assembly members for them to approve pursuant to Omampenyin so nomination. More electoral areas near saying
36 electoral areas near 52 assembly members.
52 assembly
36 elected and then 16
government
appointees.
And out of that number, nobody here saying 2/3 of that.
I mean here, I had 35, 36 years.
35, 36 to go through.
Yes, to go through.
Is this something you can get?
I believe so. Assembly members, in the last 4 years as a DC, they know my position when it comes to governance. The assembly itself, non-partisan, but we all know there are undertones. There are people who have their own party affiliation. But as a DC, I reach across assembly members. I've worked with them in the past 4 years. They know my capability and they know my vision. The good things that they share in my vision for the district. Since yesterday, I can say a lot of them have been sending me congratulations. I was humbled that that's the little advice I'll give to young men. Whatever you do, do it with all your heart. Do it well, and others will be observing as you go and come. People are assessing your performance, and in the last, especially when the league list by Bonsu the kind of messages, encouraging messages that I received from the general public in Elembele, both those living in Elembele and outside Elembele, it's humbling. I was because they say, continue working very hard. For me, it's about public service. Sabio Kufado, and then Oman he doesn't hide it, even in his public pronouncement. Considers me a friend, but that is not the case. The case is he's giving me work to do, so that I don't disappoint him. So in the second term, I think it's a new challenge, which are about 132 of us, and I'm back.
Yes,
that's about half of it.
Yes,
until for you to be given the mandate to go back and continue your good work, I will embrace that challenge and work extra hard to make sure that my legacy as a DC will be a legacy that I can always look back on.
Do you see yourself as a grassroots party strategist? Obiaka said, somebody just said, send me a message, say, Obi, Bonsu is a tough party grassroots strategist.
I take it as a compliment. The truth is that since 1996, I've been part of every election. 96, let me form. June, the last batch of 64. Now, me train your resource. But now, my fee and I party office. So that time, no, my CBP women organizer for Exama. And then Honorable Blair had come in for his first election. So as a young 18-year-old chap out TV, I was recording their minutes. Since then, I became an active part of the campaign. Then, fortunately, it was a great alliance. So Nabu Blay won and came to Parliament. So when I came to university in 1998, Legon, then he asked me to work with him as a special assistant. So from 1998 until we lost power in 2008, I was Nabu Blay's special assistant. Even when I was in school, I was in Parliament. And I'm here in National Service. Until since then, the year 2000, I was a campaign coordinator for Honorable for the Blaze campaign. That time, I work here. Now, STMA boss. Now, when in your break, the DND said, "Over two Honorable Blaze." We had to rally TESCON students from Commonwealth Hall, PJ, myself, Cadmon, lawyer Grofedame.
Oh, okay.
Yes, me and him were very good friends. We did our national service together. So when he came to Legon, we got involved in politics. So I've been part of the politics. 2004, I was a full-blown campaign manager for Honorable for the Blay. 2008, even when times were difficult and then the chips were going down, I was still with him. So since 96, I've been part of every single election. 2012, I was a parliamentary candidate. The previous result was 12,000. They called 18,000. The first time an MPP candidate, the previous election, now MPP didn't have a candidate. Until now it was an alliance between MPP and CPP. So I was the first MPP candidate.
Full-blown MPP
candidate. At that time, people didn't give us a lot of any chance that we would do well. But for me, the more you count me out, the more I count myself in. I believe in Adeobeni. When any honorable man, that time he was the deputy minister of energy. It wasn't an easy election. Even then, we thought we were doing very well until the late president passed on and the dynamics changed. So I didn't give up. 2016, went into the election against an incumbent energy minister. I mean, the whole of Africa, there's nobody who has beaten an incumbent energy minister at the post. But we almost beat him. So I became a DC. For me, when I had the opportunity of becoming a DC, I knew that I had to serve and leave a legacy. So in the last 4 years, in addition to being a parliamentary candidate, I also work very hard as a DC. Say that you have chiefs all over the place coming together. The unfortunate aspect is that they single out a few of them and say they are party people. I mean, that was the only part of it. But generally, anybody in Elembe catch you say, Bonsu is somebody who likes to work hard.
But how has it been possible, say, Untimi winning seats now? And do you still have an eye on that seat?
Sure. You start something, you want to end it.
Obesain Ejina MP, you've given the opportunity.
God willing, if I go to my party primaries and my party will give me the opportunity, I'll run again as a member of parliament in that constituency. Because we started from somewhere.
That will be the fourth time.
Honorable Dr. Kukwefri, it took him 4 times to win Sefi.
Yes.
Winning and he's maintained it. And then I believe that traditionally, Elemble, CPP. But as the dynamics is changing now, most of the CPP seats have been taken over by NDC.
Yeah.
And when Honorable Manameko beat Honorable for the Blay and was made a deputy energy minister, he worked hard to consolidate the gains of the party as a deputy energy minister. And then he went on to become an energy minister. So we are also working hard. So at the end of the day, I believe that in the fourth, if I am given the opportunity to go for the fourth time, we will be comparing our records in government. Because I would have been DC for 8 years.
Yeah.
And then the previous...
You would have been a deputy and a full minister in 8 years.
So it's a seat that I believe that we work very hard. But it takes a lot of hard work. In the past, we have had our own problems as a constituency. Now, with the opportunity that God has given me, I will bring on board all stakeholders in the party, even reach across, so that I believe that MPP should be able to win that seat.
Elembele constituency.
I have a strong conviction.
My final question, and because naturally you've become a leading member of the NPP in the Nzema zone, if there is anything like that in the Meka Nzema zone, America from Nzema East right down to Jomoro. I had a call. Somebody who knew I grew up in Elubo called me, said, Obi, this is the situation now when the person compared the NDC to the NPP and mentioned names, said, NDC, for example, they made the people of Nzema proud in terms of appointment of Modema Nzema. When the person mentioned Amakofibua, mentioned is it Ambassador Blay? One ambassador be, a former military person, yes. Obo Ambassador Blay, Obo Leo Kran. He mentioned some big guys from the Nzema area, Omunya ministerial appointment, and I'll compare to the NPP. And Okase, and there's already NPP in the last 4 years since you came to power. He mentioned only Catherine Ablema Feku, and Obo Essien, Paul Essien, our deputy chieftaincy and religious affairs. And when you comparison, say, I said the NPP has not dealt very well with the people of Nzema. 3 strong constituencies are MPP Timi Winibi, Omutimi Elusubi. But I say, Monshé da and reciprocate his gesture through appointment. I
don't think it's a fair assessment.
I didn't hear.
MPP, the first time he hold a seat, I was Lembele. I was in Nzema area, no, I was honorable Captain Africa. 2008 in the winning year, and we went into opposition.
Yes.
So she was a leading member of our party in opposition.
Yes.
2016, and he winning 2 seats.
Jomoro.
Because in 2012, honorable Captain Olusuye, 2012. In 2016, and he winning. Evaluate a Jomoro Jura and a Jomoro. Jomoro MP, the first time MP, he was made a deputy minister. That's the first time MP.
Yes.
And then Honorable Catherine was made a minister of tourism. Who was elevated to the cabinet status. So minister.
Yes.
Honorable Bois, because he obeyed to Honorable Fedible. At that time, mind you, Honorable Fedible was the first deputy speaker of parliament. The big fish.
Yeah.
And Obai, and when he was able to beat Honorable Fedible, he shot into national limelight and was made a deputy minister of energy. Then in 2016, in 2012, he increased the margins. Of course, the lot of resources that was at his disposal, all the network, all the power that he had. So he was also elevated from
deputy to substantive energy minister.
But in our case, what happened? In 2020, we lost the 2 other seats. And then, as you said, the president had a policy that whoever loses a minister that lost, none of them will be appointed.
Yeah.
So the president's hands were tied. And we share a constitution now. Also, the majority of MPs, of the ministers, have to come from at least 50%.
Yeah.
In this case, that we have 0 seats in parliament. In the 3 Nzema constituencies, there was 0. We moved from 2 to 0. So how do you blame the government for not giving a minister? I'm sure if you had it, the president would have. But like I said, president has a very key attention in the 3 Nzema areas. And before election, high-powered MSG came in, senior minister and co, just to help and show up the. I believe we should also reciprocate. Because how do you, the chicken and egg, which comes first?
Yeah.
Do we give MPP seats in Nzema, work hard and get them seats for them also to reciprocate and give us? Or they have to give it to us before we get. These are political issues. And I believe that's why I have said, Elemble, we need to work very hard. And this is a constituency that also had a national chairman, Honorable Fedible, who was a 3-time MP from 1997 all the way to 2008. Into a constituency, it's a high-profile constituency. The same way now Jomoro and then
Nzema East, that's Evaluate.
Yes. But all 3 now are in the hands of the NDC. So, as a party, I believe that
Asempa FM.
But we need to sit back and then strategize on how to make our party relevant in the Nzema area. It's not a fair.
In the Nzema area, no, say more loose grounds because you've lost all the 3 seats. Clearly, the NPP has lost grounds in the Nzema area.
Politics, a pendulum, a swing. At some point, they had 3 in 2012. They had all the 3.
Yeah.
And even then, 2012, they had Anaman in Winnie, Anaman in Jomoro.
Yeah.
Honorable Manamakufiboa, Ewo Elembele. And then Tanichikesi, Ewo. But only 1 out of the 3 became a minister.
A minister.
So the 2 others were. That's what I'm saying that.
Yeah.
Even when they had 3, only Honorable Boa
was a minister.
But we had 2, and all the 2
became ministers.
Yes, 1 deputy minister and then 1
cabinet
minister. And see, we have to be fair to ourselves. It's not the party MPP, And then, if there's any party that has had a major impact on the development of the three in my areas, I would say it's the MPP administration.
You sure about that?
Currently, the massive infrastructure development going on there. The sea defense wall in Axim has been there for years. There is the military base in Izilimbu. The petroleum hub.
A military base?
Yeah.
In Izilimbu?
Yes.
For the government of Ghana?
Yes, for to protect the oil.
To protect the oil?
Yes. So these are major projects. There's a fishing harbor currently ongoing in Axim. And like I've just mentioned the roads. So as a government, we have had a lot of attention in that area. But politics, like I said, a pendulum. 2020 generally, we also saw the performance of not only in my areas. So a lot of work still has to be done. But the MPP as a government hasn't treated Nzima shably.
Ekosiisen saying, I've just received a statement from the Western Regional Youth Wing, and they say they congratulate you and all other MMDC nominees in the regional statement signed by Benedict Ade.
Oh, okay.
The NPP Western Regional Youth Organizer. Into the statement, Abba, just for you to hear. This one says that. Good afternoon, Obi. Congratulations to Honorable Bonsu. Okay, Obi, Honorable Bonsu is the eye of Elembele and is the only one to win the seat for us come 2024. All those who fought for his removal should bow their heads in shame. They should rather break the loving relationship of father and son between Nanado and Honorable Bonsu. Okay, 34 Kiwa. Bonsu will change the narrative come 2024. It says, regards to Rhoda, the incoming NPP Western Regional Treasurer and MD for PMMC, lawyer Iwua. Let me see. This one says, good afternoon, Obi. The issue of appointments made by the NDC in Nzima, is the secret is that all the Brighton or you be bright, that's not fair. That's just not fair. Bonsu K 34K Samuel Brian Boabin say Ochiao Shronkon Bonsu. Let me see the other ones we have here. Bonsu K, we say Bonsu should thank his stars that he's been fortunate to get a reappointment. It's shocking how persons who weren't shortlisted got the nod. The question is, what's the relevance of the regional and national vetting committees empaneled by the appointing authority? Obama, I don't know, just recommendations, so the president is not bound by them. Osei, was it for the cameras or what? It's as if these reappointed MMDCs are the only individuals in the party with the requisite skills and commitment to help develop the various MMDAs. Is it that the party came for a few selected individuals or what? For 5 years, we continue to witness this political chess of appointment. Why? I can say without equivocation that if elections were held today, most of these reappointed MMDCs would lose their positions. They are unpopular on the ground. Check the reaction and mood of party people across the country. There is resentment all over. The Machiavellian tactics activated by some of these MMDCEs against their parliamentary candidates contributed to the NPP's abysmal performance in last year's parliamentary election. I would have thought that the party by now would have learnt its lessons. Unfortunately, here we are back to square one. MPP Pani, say Obama in Pokwase. Bonsu, would you want to react to the statement?
It's a bit harsh because to be an MMDC at the Metropolitan Municipal or District Chief Executive is a very tough job, especially with the grassroots. A lot of the grassroots, 90%, they have nothing to do with even the regional executives or the regional minister. The expectations sometimes very high at the local level.
Yes.
In terms of jobs, support, funerals, weddings, social events. OBF as a DC, you should be able to exactly and the resources at the disposal of a DC, and also it's not something that you can. You're limited, very limited resources. There's always that, but expectation, management of expectations, and it sounds sometimes the expectation of the people at the grassroots is
Asempa FM.
Sometimes it's genuine expectations because we all fight for political power together. So after elections, they expect that certain problems, certain will be
addressed.
Yes, but sometimes they put it all on the MMDC and then becomes in areas where the MMDC and the MP has some
friction.
Sometimes it can affect development.
Yeah.
But
in your case, so now one hour DC is parliamentary.
Exactly.
Yours was a peculiar situation. Good afternoon, Obi. I'm watching you live on Facebook from Atlanta, Georgia, USA. I'm from Kekam in the Elembele district. Congratulations and kudos to my brother, friend, and DC nominee, Honorable Kwesi Bonsu. Aaron Asare.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Aaron Asare ko St. John's. No, cadet commander. Yeah, no, cadet commander. Or a big time old Saint. Aaron, good afternoon to you wherever you may be, and thanks for listening. Messages, no, Edorson. Some of them very general. There is one from PK in Elembele, and we're directly from your control. Say, hi, Obi. Please kindly ask my Nzema fellow in your studio, how on earth has Elembele, Jomoro, Evaluate Ajomoro Jura, and Ahanta West all not gotten their share of one district, one factory, yet NPP national chair is from that area? How far is the road? Okay, the road that caved in, Yenasi Road, caved in. No? Please ask him why all street lights started by the NDC and the NP Honorable Boa have been abandoned, though he is the local president and wants to be MP. PK in Elembele. We a direct question to you, Bonsu.
No street lights started by the MP has been abandoned. In any case, Honorable Boa is still an MP.
Yeah,
in the last 5 years, or MP, so started BB, I should be able to continue. So even if it's abandoned, as it's saying, maybe he's the best person
to respond
to it. But to the best of my knowledge, street lights, it's all over the place. Then we replace it. Last year, even as a certain MP, the Minister of Energy gave him 500 street lights to install. By stores, then it was issued out to him as an MP. These are central government things that sometimes come in. In assembly, so we also spend money to replace street lights. No street lights. There's a particular project, GMPC funded from Alabukazu to Atwabo, or the asphalt. And there is some street light element. Basically, is not being resolved. But that is not a project that Assembly supervised. The Assembly had no role in it. We can only continue to ask questions and then put pressure. But saying, I don't know, but other than that, generally, we don't abandon street lights in there. PK is a good friend of mine.
You know him?
Yeah.
Oh, your V-mate?
V-mate, yeah.
Oh, PK, wow.
Oh,
please greet fantastic Bonsu for me. You are an asset to the party and the nation as a whole. Keep it up. Emmanuel Akwa.
Oh, okay.
Takrade, and all the way about Ima. Thank you. This one says, congratulations to Bonsu. I think the reappointment of Honorable Mariama Kali Amui, MCA for Ablekuma Central, is highly regrettable and distasteful. Hey, distasteful, pa. There is this new phenomenon of tribal politics in Ablekuma Central, which isn't helpful to the progress of our party. And obviously, your preferred candidate did not get the nod. But it's understandable. Happy 40th birthday to my lovely wife and Kokonsa partner, Mrs. Lois Finn Ellis. We love and appreciate you from your husband, Sam Ellis, and our Trinity adorable girls. In the Mrs. Lois Finn Ellis, do have a good one and a happy birthday. Greetings to Bonsu 34 Kiwa, Protozoa, Office of the Chief of Staff, and on the way about
King Protozoa.
Bonsu, eja kwai mo akwane any minister ashase edin community. Final message awudija Elembele for na yenya.
Final message ni say da o mampeni ase. Say all the Ubula Balu say my address the minister no kind no the final decisions with the president. And as a president, I believe he has access to a lot of information. And the same thing, Mestre, appointments going by my own case, I believe the president has a lot of good judgment in terms of the appointment now. He's done appointment. Let's support him too, because he knows what went into the appointment. If it favored you, you are happy. If it didn't favor you, it's a better luck next time. We do or die. Now, say, those that have been retained, it's a sign that in our first term, we probably did 1 or 2 things that he appreciated. But then we should even come and do more and make him proud. So that, and the new ones that are also coming in, it's a very tough job. Being a DC is a very tough job. To let nobody, even if it's a fanfare, and not fanfare, you are coming to deal with real problems. Obi, every problem in the district is brought at your doorstep. From sanitation to street light, everything that anybody can think about. Unlike who a sector minister, who a roader, it's only issues with road. But here, you are road, education, health, everybody. It's a meanwhile you don't have your resources and not enough to take care of all the so your management skills, your leadership skill. For me, the Bakomesian being in DC in the last 4 years, that it's all about leadership. Because public servants know they know and they know their work. It's up to you as a DC to provide sound leadership and let them work as a team. My final words goes to Omo start April DC on the second term. Regional level near 7.
Oh, okay.
And 5 is solely a bar
national.
So the 5 of us in a bar interview or national vetting. It's not a victory for Bonsu, okay? No, I believe it's a victory for Elembele. Because it tells Elembele says they are DC in the year, and just as I for no. Most of the times, the problem that this is in Yana say, no, he knows him in PDC way or one home, but in my case, it was a reverse. And near back when you mean Obi 26 chiefs and criminals. No more, no more tunium and dynamic. It's historic. Inti Medaminasi, especially chiefs and criminals now. I will let them know. I will not disappoint.
Okay.
So in the first term, no man go on Monimasi. See, and put the challenge is even bigger because of what the process went through. It was all over the place. Now I urge my supporters to be calm because at that time, no, that president here a final decision. I'm say last week Friday, day, my Asempa program. Now at the time I don't know what about Thursday.
Yeah.
Now I didn't know that, so it took us all of us.
By surprise.
And it became a huge. And people from me, I don't know how to respond. They were correlating me. So what you do? I'm saying, President Momi did. Whether to accept the correlation or not. But give thanks to God. Things, the greater glory goes to God. I believe say every leader has something that he comes to do. I believe say me in the last 4 years and the next 3 years now, I will discharge my duties to the best of my abilities, so that because my DC you can only be DC for 2 terms, just like being a president. So that when people look back, it's honorable Bonsu, somebody else will also come and continue. Until this time round, I would say they shouldn't give up. Just like me call MP first one 2012 I didn't give up. 2016 I didn't give up. 2020. I'm not giving up. The same thing, I believe anybody has an ambition to serve his people. It's public service. Of course, it's not about amassing word. It's like I said, if you want to amass word, you'll be doing a lot of business not in the public service. But once you commit yourself, once you put your head above the parapet, you want to serve your people, you should commit yourself to it. You should put in your heart out and make sure that. And when you do it, others will appreciate. And I believe that as a president, having appreciated my work as a DC, it's on that basis that you could stick.
What's Henry nominate you? Bonsu, may I say, we wish you very well and congratulations once again.